Resentment is one big blockage, very low vibration blockage. And most of the time, people can't let go of it because they feel that if they let go of it, it's like they would erase everything that happened. That would they feel that, the person that caused them so much damage will be absolved. And they're not necessarily ready for that because maybe that person doesn't really deserve to be absolved, right? Maybe that person needs to take responsibility for his action. And you might feel that by letting go of the resentment, you actually give a free pass to that person. That he doesn't have to answer for his action or her action, and that he doesn't or she doesn't have to be accountable, right? For whatever he has done or she has done. In order for trauma to heal, somehow we need the trauma to be witnessed, to be acknowledged. Okay?
Are you talking to me?
No, I'm talking in general. It's the same for everyone. And you know, that's the magic of the group. Why I love to teach in groups. Because everyone realizes that everybody is going through the same stuff. And if you take everyone individually, they all think they are like alone in their misery. And when the group come together, everybody realizes that this is the human journey. Everybody has got the same stuff to work on. You know? And then when you realize that, suddenly it was like, oh my God, this is just what the game is about. Okay, let's go for it. You know? It's de-dramatize the whole drama. Right? So the idea that when someone has gone through some kind of abuse, there is a need, a human need for recognition of the wrong that has been done. Because if there is no recognition, we feel that like it didn't happen, like it's a denial of a wrong that has been done to you. Nothing wrong has happened to you. Okay? And so for you, somehow, the fact to hold on that resentment is the witness that something wrong has been done to you. And this wrong needs to be repaired. Okay? And that is the reason why most people have a hard time letting go of resentment, because they're sensing that something needs to be repaired, and if I let go of this, it won't be. Right? And so this is a very normal reaction, because something needs to be realigned, needs to be healed, that needs to be, and if I let go of that witness, maybe I will forget about it, and this poison will stay inside me. It will never be transmuted, it will never be transcended, it will never be taken care of. Okay? And this is where most people get stuck, because you want this to be acknowledged, you need this to be acknowledged. Okay. Now, does it need to be acknowledged by the person who caused you the harm? Because in the first place, the person that caused you the harm is limited. In the first place, that person doesn't know better. If it knew better, it wouldn't maybe do it. Right? There is, even if you would say, oh yeah, this person knows better, but she or he does it because it's cruel. that's still an indication of his or her level of consciousness, then doesn't know better than doing cruel things. Even if there is a certain form of awareness of the cruel thing that he or she is doing, the fact that this cruel thing is taking over his sanity, it shows that there is a certain level of insanity there. There is a certain level of imbalance that normally a human balanced mind wouldn't do something like that. And this person, even though she's able to acknowledge that this is not normal, still wants to do it. What does it say about that person? Does it say that this person is in a good mental health state? No.
Yeah.
So, now that you established that, is it smart to expect from that person that is in this unbalanced mental state to be able to acknowledge anything?
No.
I'm a little bit scared that if I forgive, I'll forget and it'll happen, like he'll do it again.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying when I say it's a witness. It means it's a witness for you to be able to remember that something needs to be addressed and also not to fall into the trap again. Because you're thinking that if you lose that witness, you will forget.
Is it not true? We won't forget?
You could keep the awareness without keeping the wound. You can heal the wound and keep the awareness. You can heal the wound and heal your boundaries, for example, that were not properly set. Now you have that new awareness that finally, oh, my boundaries are set now, and I know how to take back my power. So you're taking responsibility for the part of you that let that happen. Okay, now I'm not talking on a collective level, because collective level, it's a different story. Okay, we are talking about individual level. So what you're doing when you accept to let go of the resentment, really what you're doing is you're taking responsibility for the part that is yours, that is assessing your boundaries better, or finding your own power, or what is it in the first place that allowed the abuser to abuse you. Okay, all of your old, because how did you come to meet this abuser in the first place? How did you get attracted to this abuser in the first place? And if it's not this one, it will be someone else, because usually you go from one to another. Okay, so what does it mean? It means that, is it about this person, or is it about you that needs to suddenly come to a certain level of awareness of what you're doing exactly, what you're allowing in your field? So from that point of view, it doesn't make sense to keep resentment towards that person, because you realize that it's actually not personal. So now you can realize that when you're already more advanced in life, and after the abusive father, you had the abusive husband, and after the abusive husband, you had the abusive coworker, and then you understand. So when this happened, it's easier to realize that, hey, actually it was not about this guy or that girl or that woman. It was about me having to work on something, obviously. Okay, so there are two things there. First of all, you taking responsibility, for your part in there, and you heal the wound. It means that you don't need to keep that poison inside of you, that pain. You don't need to keep it inside of you in order to keep the awareness. Because now that you are going to be healed, you are going to know how to assess and address this type of situation from a healed place. not from a wounded place. Because if next situation you're going to encounter, you're going to address it from that wounded place, what will happen is that your fear of attracting an abuser, first of all, will allow you to meet another one easily. Beside the fact that you still need to work on it, so you already have that susceptibility to meet that abuser, but now you have the fear of meeting another abuser, which makes you even more susceptible to meet that abuser. Okay? So now you're doubly more susceptible to relieve the same situation. And on top of that, you keep within yourself the poison that is keeping you in a very low vibration. And on top of that, you keeping within yourself expectations and belief that your wound can only be healed if it's witnessed by the abuser, if it's recognized by the abuser, which is a delusion.
I mean, if I may,
Yes.
I will just say, in my case, I know not to have any expectation of recognition and have been able to really sort through the dynamic with him. But as I send you this message, I got very triggered this week when a friend of mine who I felt was a witness, like someone that I spoke to so openly and candidly, sent me this message about, of all things, to be invited to my ex's birthday party.
Yeah. So this witness
And
betrayed you.
There went my witness. And that's when I got so triggered. Like, this person who I thought, like, understood and I spoke with and... Sorry, yeah. But...
Yeah, so what does it say about it? That she's not a witness. This is not the witness that you need. This is what it says.
And that feels hard to let go. That feels hard to let go.
Yeah. Of course, if someone sees you and see, hey, I saw that. I saw what you've been going through. Even if it's just a therapist, or even if it's just me now, that should be enough. Even if it's the universe witnessing it, that should be enough. Because the universe is a great witness. There is no greater witness than the universe. And you can call the universe and say, I take you as a witness. That's something very powerful to do. But not a witness to seek for revenge. Someone has seen. This is something that is very human. And I've seen many cases of regression in past lives where people could not get over whatever has happened because no one has witnessed the abuse and how they've been killed. And so just because of that, they were not able to let go. And so just the fact that we're saying, hey, I saw you, I'm witnessing it, that's it. It was possible to let go. Because if no one witnessed it, it's like it didn't exist. It has been done to you, but somehow there is a denial. Your pain is denied. Your wound is denied. The belief is that if I let go of that witness, I will fall again into the trap, and this person will be absolved, and then my pain will be denied. So those are the beliefs, mainly, that prevent people to let go of resentment. Okay, so now that we have addressed all these things together and see how you actually can let go of this and still apprehend the next situation from a healthier place, and actually you have much more chances not to make it happen again, then in that case, you might be able to shift the resentment. But before that, you can't shift. Because it's a security system for you. Like it's like in your security setting, don't let go of that. Okay, so now that we enter the security system, we rewrite, hey, actually you could write the code in a different way. You could write a security system that would be raising awareness, taking your part of responsibility, addressing your pain, transmuting your pain, okay? And cutting the ties, the energetic cords that are still linking you with that person. Because all the time that you keep resentment for that person, the energetic cords are still in place and there is still an exchange of energy. And so this is how someone can kill you many times. All the time that you keep inside of you the poison that has left, the traces, the resentment, is the poison that left. Even if someone killed you in a past life, you keep that resentment. I see that very often in cases of regression, for example, of people that, you know, died in the camps, for example, as an example, okay? Like in the Shoah. And they come back with the strong resentment. And sometimes they're not even incarnated within families that were in the Shoah. Sometimes they're incarnated in different families, but their soul remember. Okay? And even for people who were born within families that, you know, lived that were rescued or whatever. And you know, this thing I learned from people who survived the Shoah. Whatever I'm telling you now, I learned it from them. Because the level of forgiveness that I've seen within these people, I'm not talking about everybody. I saw one time, you know, a bunch of Germans that went to Israel and they were sitting with some people who were, you know, that survived the Shoah. And they came with all this guilt and all this trying to find answers, you know, trying to find healing really. They were young, you know, they were not alive during the time. They were trying to find healing somehow. Maybe their families, people were involved, probably, otherwise they wouldn't do that, you know. And I saw them consoling them. These old people, they were consoling these young German. I said, how is this possible? How is this possible?
Did you read that book, The Choice, by Dr. Edith Ava Eger? And she was a survivor, and she went on to become a psychologist, and at like 96 wrote this book about forgiveness and moving past it. It's really
I did
wonderful.
not read it. I didn't read it, but
it's like what you're describing.
Yeah. For myself, it has been like a big theme for me, forgiveness in my life, because I will share something personal. Since I was small, I was having nightmares about the Shoah all the time, seeing myself in trains, being taken, being, you know, experimented on with electricity, and like from age 3, you know, and we didn't have TV in my house. And my family, they were not from Eastern Europe. They did not live the Shoah. So I didn't have that information in my genealogical line. So I was not exposed to that and was having these nightmares from very, very young age, but like very strong. And like the experiments they were doing on us. I was not the only one there, you know, with electricity, sending electricity in our, like, to see how much shock we could handle. Like, I was waking up and I was like, my full body was like so in pain, like I was feeling the pain physically. And all my life I had this pain in my back, and was like, and this is how I came to learn hypnotherapy, how I came to learn past life regression, to practice, because I had so much myself that I had to resolve from past lives, so many imprints. And so that was the opening of my journey with learning regression. It was like, and I didn't even know, I went like this, like out of instinct.
Do you know what happened to you?
So yeah. So I know, finally, when I did the regression, I saw that I was in the camps and what they were doing. Like, the reactions were very strong, like very physical. And I was obsessed with this. And the dreams would never stop. And so when I went for regression, I was faced with the choice to forgive. And I say, how can I forgive this? It's impossible. The amount of resentment and hatred I had within me for the people who did that, it was like using all the space. And not just that, and the resentment I had toward God, you know, like, hey, you think you can just send me forever replay like your stupid game and I'm just gonna go for it? You know? And so a lot of people have that underlying sensation that I actually don't want to be here. Who told you I want to replay that stupid game? Who told you? You know? So that's why spiritual healing is so very important. You cannot approach mental health without spiritual healing. So much is happening in the spiritual plans. So much. And this is not a mental problem. This is not a mental issue. This is a spiritual issue. If you don't agree to be incarnated, if you don't agree to forgive what had happened before in all those past lives, how can you even navigate this life?
Do we sometimes not agree to be reincarnated?
Many people don't agree to be reincarnated.
And how did you forgive?
How did I forgive? So during this time, it was in training, and so all these regression were happening during my training. So it happened, you know, it was progressively, you know. And during this time, I saw this show, this like video about how Nitzolei Shoah, like the survival from the survivor, they were receiving this group of German and they were consoling them. I was like, what? You're consoling them? And then I realized that they had the secret. I realized that they understood that if they were keeping within themselves the poison of the resentment, it's like they would allow them to kill them again and again and again and again forever.
What feelings should you have toward whoever abusers are?
First of all, you understand that there is always a bigger picture. People that happen to do whatever they do to you, they're just random actors.
Right, you said that in the last video. Yeah, there's the mirror and there are the actors.
So now on collective level, it's a little bit different because it's much more complicated. We'll do a whole video about what happened on the difference of what happening on an individual level and collective level. And that was something that was happening on collective level. But still, even in the collective level, there is a bigger picture. Okay? And another student, Sarah, we did a video with her, and she did that video about herself. She was in the Shoah. I never shared that story with her, by the way. This is the first time I'm sharing that story publicly. And finally, for her, when she passed away, and she asked, why did I have to witness that level of atrocity? And they told her, because in order to transmute darkness, you need to have been witnessed. You need to have witnessed it. You need to have seen it. Understand?
Yeah.
And so I'm not saying that that's the only reason. I'm saying that that was one element of response that she got there. But for me, I just understood that keeping the link between my abuser and me, even if it's through lifetimes, it doesn't matter, the link is still in place. It would allow this abuser to keep poisoning me. Because it's like it put a poison seed and I allow it to grow within me. And this, I'm not ready. So first thing, I take out the poison seed. I cut the cord. I understand that actually there was nothing personal. There was a bigger picture and a bigger intention behind. And these people were probably tools. So the moment you understand, first of all, there was nothing personal. It's like just a situation that needs to be played. It has been played by actors. It already, bring one level down of the drama. And then it's like recentering your focus on something completely different is like, okay, so I needed to live that experience. It's not about this guy or that guy or that, it's not anymore about that. It's about, okay, I needed to live that, to experience that now. Am I open to be taken to where it's taking me? Or am I going to stay all my life crystallized on that pain and not move forward anywhere? So I'm alive, but I'm actually dead. So that's a decision. Do I want to feel sorry for myself all my life? Or do I want to cut the ties, understand how to rise my level of consciousness from there and move on? How to use that? Maybe there was nothing else to learn than being able to be a support for others. Because when you experience something, you can relate to people who experience the same thing, right? Maybe that was the only goal. Who knows? We'll never know the reason. That's the part of humility that we need to handle that human journey. Because we don't know nothing. But what we know is that we don't want to stay in a place of low vibration, and we don't want to navigate this world from a wounded place. That we know. Because when we do, then we don't give the chance to the next life. We're just replaying the trauma of what happened before and before and before. Because now, based on that trauma, you're expecting an outcome, right? And then
Yes.
The way you judge reality, the way you expect reality, is also participating to create your reality. It's not the only factor, but it's also participating. So in a certain, there is a certain propension of how much you create. It is based on what you lived in the past and you expect and you anticipate as a result.
was thinking like what scares me is what's on the other side, and not being able to see that and feeling so and not being prepared and exposed. And I think that's something that
what other side are you talking about?
Well, like that's the unstuckness.
Okay.
And being self-guided and making that plan for myself and going towards it and taking out, making these shifts and transitions and let going of the poison inside. But there is, and because there's that word security, there is this feeling of, so the unknown is scary.